Sending data.
We're on.
I believe so. It says we're live.
Okay, cool. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, this is showing. Okay, yeah, we're live. We're live. We are live. See, it didn't fucking update. This thing's a piece of crap. This multi-streaming system, but it's the one that I can use. Let's see if we can't fix that real quick. Shit. Update titles. Copy. Cancel. Edit. Paste. Wonder if we can add on. Yes. We can add Xbox in the YouTube video. Okay, there's that, and then or the other half of it. Son of a bitch. Hey, Pants.
Hey, it's Matt.
Good to see you as always. Updating things on the YouTube side because I don't know what's shittier, YouTube or Restream.io. Oh, we're at 101 out of 100.
So you're gonna have to.
Why did it add so many extra spaces? Oh, it did. It did. I mean, it kind of did, but to be fair, we can get rid of all this stuff because it's not available on YouTube at the moment. There we go. I need to get those commands transferred over to YouTube. But since we don't have like any kind of higher membership or anything like that with YouTube,
Right.
there's like no point to really messing with it. There's literally no use in update because we don't have the permissions. And see, it takes this long for the YouTube chat to even load for me to try and pop it out too. Why you gotta be like that, YouTube? Why you gotta be a dick? But yeah, we've got lunch. You got some fat ass burritos, like the size of my head burritos, and some fully loaded nacho fries. And we're gonna watch the developer direct and have a good old time. Good old time. That thing. Let's see what games are coming in 2020 whenever.
Right. Yeah. Still looking forward to Doom Dark Age.
Yeah, that one does look like it's gonna be pretty fun. Stylistically, fantastic. It actually like is really impressive.
It has finally crossed over into my personal territory. You get to pilot a giant mech, at least for a little while.
This is true.
So that's my bag right there. That's what I do.
And it's not only is it a mech, it's a big medieval mech.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's looking impressive. Like instead of a shotgun, they've got like a meat grinder
Oh
looking
yeah,
thing.
the thing that grinds up
Yeah,
skulls.
you shove a skull in there and it just shoots out bone splinter at people. Gee, how hardcore is that?
To an extreme.
I will kill you with the skulls of the enemies I've already killed. And then I will use your skull. That was, I remember the first time I saw the trailer for that. I was just like, oh my god. And the stylistically, the way they make the armor look medieval, yet still
It's still
space,
insane. Yeah.
like, so cool. The design aspect of that game is phenomenal. They knocked it out of the park. So, all right. Well, we've been fixing YouTube, setting up YouTube, and kind of blathering on for mostly fixing YouTube. Last like 7, we'll give a couple more minutes for people to possibly show up before we start playing. I know Necro went online a few minutes ago. I said a few minutes ago, like an hour ago, hour and a half ago. He went online just before we left to go grab Burvages. Um, so, and we share 90% of the same audience. So, most people are probably going to be in his channel paying attention to his stuff. I believe he was supposed to be having some sort of interactive gameplay.
So you can do 2 tabs.
Yeah. No, I don't. He announced some sort of game, said he was going to be playing this game, and then said audience participation is encouraged. So I don't know, one of those integrated games or something different. But for all I know, it could be okay. And what's the name of this character, sort of thing.
Yep, that's how I'm going to do it when I decide to start getting around to playing XCOM 2.
That one will give you plenty of opportunities to name characters.
Trying to get audience members to participate with that one so that they can die for the beautiful cause that is me. Some of you may die. That is a sacrifice I'm willing to accept.
Absolutely. Grab some of these nacho fries.
It's quite good.
Maybe. If I can grab some.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah. Get this burrito unwrapped. I'm not kidding. This burrito is like the size of my head, just about. Freaking love it. So good. And it's California style, so it's not like Taco Bell, not like it's like legit Mexican street food that migrated up to Cali. That's the good stuff. I like it better than Tex-Mex with their let's cover everything in enchilada sauce.
Right. See how this purple burrito treats me. Okay. I already have a complaint. False advertising. Perfect.
Yeah, covered with steak and all the toppings on there. Melted cheese, sour cream, covered in pico, and yeah, all the good stuff. Mm. Mm. So Ponchos is very similar to this.
Mm-hmm.
It's that style. I like that.
That's why I was like debating on the Rush just Ponchos too.
Mm. Except I think these are like 4 times the size of ponchos.
Maybe not quite.
Yeah, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but
Ponchos burritos are still actually quite sizable, but
yeah,
not this big.
Yeah, no, ponchos is pretty good.
But they also cost like $3 less. So.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm definitely much more a fan of that. Instead of just shredded beef, it's actually like grilled steak. It's all, yeah, I don't know. This tastes fresher and cleaner to me. I don't know than like just the regular Tex-Mex.
I am, very much a big fan of the, or very much a member of the Asada fan club.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And like the refried beans are good, but that's not the base of the I don't know. But I am biased because I grew up with it and I love the taste of it. Well, go ahead and start the showcase. Turn the volume up a bit. And because I'm doing that, there's a very good chance of double audio. Try and move the mic much closer to us and hope that we don't get that. That double audio. It's not too bad. Let's watch the show. Let's see what Xbox has in store for us. Oh, it's literally bringing up fucking YouTube? Are you kidding me?
Okay.
God damn it. You've got to make things annoying, don't you? You can't just fucking show me. Goddamn. Love it. Love it. Shut the fuck up. Go to the goddamn video already. The fuck? All games are available on day one with Game Pass. Love hearing that. All games support Xbox Play Anywhere. They're really pushing that Xbox Play Anywhere. This is an Xbox. This is an Xbox. This is an Xbox. This might be an 18 and up rated game.
I was gonna say we got a back with a sandwich.
And now we got fans here saying more things. Back to the sandwich.
No, they howdy hunt.
Yeah. LumberMoose hasn't been actually over and on camera.
I've mostly been hiding as most cryptids do. And now and again I come down from the mountain for winches and food.
2 excellent reasons. Propulsion games, it.
Alright, let's see what's first up on the block.
Team Ninja?
Yep, it's Team Ninja for sure.
Almost like you can recognize the logo.
Yeah. So I have nightmares about that. Ninja Gaiden is hard.
こんにちは、声とくもゲームズチーム忍者の安田文彦です。
Speaking of Ninja Gaiden,
今日は皆様にチーム忍者が
Yeah,
長く大切にしてきたアクション
the
シリーズの新情報を発表できる機会をいただけてとても嬉しく思います。早速ですが、こちらをご覧ください。
it was real good. Super hard, but so fun. Koei Tecmo.
Several years ago, the Dark Dragon, youngest of the divine dragon gods, wreaked havoc across the world. The plot was ultimately thwarted through the efforts of a sole ninja. However,
They're bringing it back.
the Dark Dragon's husk remained, and from this husk fell an endless downpour of cursed rain. The abandoned Tokyo continues its struggle against chaos to this day.
Infiltrated the facility. Commencing mission.
Platinum Games. Nice. They got quality.
It's nice to see.
No escape.
They haven't really seemed to turn down.
No, they have not.
It's been a staple of the Ninja Gaiden since the 3D.
Yes.
Very easily popped out. Ah, no, they're just robots.
Which they do look like some of them. But no, that's a person in a mech suit. Okay. That's a Dark Souls boss.
This is it.
Although, we're being totally serious. You played Dark Souls before Dark Souls.
Hayabusa.
Dark Souls.
Yeah. I mean, the difference between them is with Ninja Gaiden, you'd have to start over from the save point, whereas with Dark Souls, you're meant to crush your head against that brick wall over and over.
So you've come, Raven.
Fuck off, Hayabusa. I will execute my mission.
Oh,
世界中の町人の皆さん、10年以上大変お待たせしました。
versus thing.
最強の忍者となり、容赦なく襲い来る敵に挑むハイスピードアクション、忍者ガイデンのナンバリング最新作として、忍者ガイデン4を発表させていただきました。本作はプラチナゲームズさんとの協業で開発を進めています。
This first one.
プラチナゲームズさんのアクションゲームというジャンルにおける実績は言うまでもなく、ベヨネッタやニアオートマタなど素晴らしいアクションタイトルを生み出してこられました。
Yeah, Nier Automata.
忍者ガイ
That's
デン
what I
4
was-
というタイトルを10年以上の時を超えて新たに皆様にお届けするにあたり、より多くの方に新鮮な気持ちでプレイしていただけるよう、新たな世界を新主人公であるもう一人の町人ヤクモで冒険するという形で制作することにしました。先ほどご覧いただいた映像の中で竜ハヤブサも登場しておりましたが、彼は今回も物語に密接に関わってきます。なぜヤクモと戦うことになったのか、竜ハヤブサが戦う目的は何なのか、本作の物語の中で展開していきます。
任務は必ず成し遂げる。邪魔をするな。
物語は黒竜がもたらした正気の雨によって荒廃した首都東京が舞台となっています。この雨は黒竜がまだ生きている証であり、雨が止まない限り東京に安寧は訪れません。今作の新主人公であり、ハヤブサと対をなすカラス一門に所属するヤクモが首都東京で黒竜を倒し、この世界を晴らすため戦いに身を投じます。
Oh, Rival Clan.
これまで忍者ガイデンシリーズで描かれてきたダークでハードな世界観は継承し、そこにさらに危機を感じさせる要素として呪いやより混沌とした景観のデザインを取り入れています。ス テージプレイ中に街が呪いの影響を受け、ビルは崩れ、道は歪み、ヤクモをピンチに陥れることでしょう。舞台となる東京はとある出来事によって街全体が崩壊し、魔族やヤクモと敵対する勢力がひしめき合う状態になっており、環境全体がプレイヤーに牙を向くように感じられるはずです。前作より立体的に自由度の増した危険に満ちたステージを、忍具やシリーズおなじみの体術など忍者アクションを駆使して乗り越えていくことになります。レールアクション、スイングアクションなどのダイナミックで爽快なシチュエーションを多く追加しました。これら以外にも様々なシチュエーションやチャレンジ、隠されたアイテムなどを用意しており、ステージが進むごとに上がっていくテンションにも驚いていただけると思います。
So is this still going to be guided levels, or is it more open world? I guess it's still going to be guided levels.
新しい主人公のヤクモは竜ハヤブサに次ぐ新たな町人です。彼にはまだ若さも残っていますが、カラス一門を背負う天才忍者でもあり、忍者外伝シリーズにおける忍者の頂点、竜と肩を並べる次世代の町人たり得る人物としてデザインしています。そんなヤクモの前に立ちふさがるのは、荒れ果てた東京の治安維持組織であり、黒竜の封印を守る竜神島や、現世に蔓延する人ならざる者妖魔、そしてもちろんシリーズおなじみの魔人も登場します。また現時点では公開していませんが、新たなキャラクターやシリーズファンの方に喜んでいただける人物も登場しますので、続報にご期待ください。
従来のシリーズからバトルスピードをさらに加速させ、目にも止まらぬスピードで敵との攻防を繰り広げることができます。さらにヤクモが使える新要素、結節忍術ヌエの型を駆使したダイナミックな攻撃によって、これまでから大きく進化した一対他の戦闘を可能にしました。ヌエの型ではこれまでの忍者ガイデンにはない広範囲かつ一撃必殺の攻撃となっており、多勢に無勢の状態が長く続く戦況を一気に覆すことができます。もちろん1対1の戦闘における比率も健在です。プレイヤー同様、敵もガードや回避をしてくるため、緊張感のあるフェアな戦闘を味わうことができます。敵の動きをしっかりと捉えながら、一瞬の隙を逃さずに攻撃を仕掛けていくことが重要です。ヌエの型によって忍者ガイデンのアクションの味わいにさらなる進化を感じられるかと思います。
特にアクションに関しては手触り、バランス調整など細部にわたり日々議論させていただき、会社の垣根を越えた密なやり取りをさせていただいています。本作の主人公であるヤクモは竜とは一味違うアクションを有していますが、その中でもしっかりと忍者ガイデンらしさを感じていただけると思います。例えばカラス、ヌエ、2つの型があるという点がヤクモの大きな特徴ですが、それらが持つ多彩な性能のアクションを用いて敵や状況ごとに使い分ける攻略の深みや、滅却、絶技などを絡めた抑揚あるスピーディーな攻防などはもちろんヤクモでも健在です。
ヤクモと竜ハヤブサはそれぞれがかなり異なる個性的な遊び心地になっていますので、さまざまな戦闘バリエーションを楽しむことができるようになっています。ヤクモ、そして竜ハヤブサの双方で飛燕、伊豆名落としなどシリーズおなじみのアクションも駆使しつつ、新アクションを織り交ぜた新しい忍者ガイデンにご期待ください。忍者ガイデンシリーズに色濃く残っている歯ごたえやグレードの高いアクション体験の継承、さらに我々プラチナゲームズの特徴であるスピーディーなアクションやダイナミックな演出も取り入れ、進化した正当続編を作り上げるべく総力を挙げて開発を進めております。
容赦ない敵とのいかなる攻防にもフェアに戦える手触りをヤクモでも目指しています。皆様に進化した忍者ガイデンを触っていただける日を楽しみにしています。
シリーズファンはもちろんのこと、忍者ガイデンを初めてプレイする方でも存分に楽しめる作品になっておりますので、ぜひ発売をお待ちください。
長年にわたってプラチナゲームズさんと共にまさに忍者のように潜んで忍者ガイデン4の開発を進めてきましたが、ついに発表することができて非常に嬉しく思います。2025年秋に本作を皆様にお届けできるのを楽しみにしています。続報にもぜひご期待ください。さて、本日お伝えしたい発表はそれだけではありません。こちらをご覧ください。
One more thing.
Okay.
Team Ninja still Ryohayabusa. Are they remaking? It looks like it is. Yeah.
They totally are.
They're, oh my god. That's the brutal game we were just talking about.
My path leads through the land of the dead.
And thus the sun sets on the
Okay.
dragon.
I don't remember that part. Well, it's been a long time so far.
Genshin, go back to hell.
All paths before me are cruel and arduous. Our time has come.
Seems you got two black.
忍者ガイデン2のオリジナル版は2008年に Xbox360 で発売し、バイオレンスな表現とハイスピードなバトルを皆様にお楽しみいただいた作品です。今作忍者ガイデン2ブラックではオリジナル版の表現に立ち戻り、アンリアルエンジン5を用いてグラフィックを大幅に刷新、忍者ガイデン2の完全版として開発いたしました。綺麗なグラフィックでお楽しみいただけるのはもちろん、竜はやぶさに加え綾音、もみじ、レイチェルもプレイブルキャラクターとして登場します。そして本作は本日コンソール、PC、そして Xbox ゲームパスでこの後すぐに発売となります。忍者ガイデンシリーズを長年応援いただいている皆様はもちろんのこと、本日忍者ガイデンを知っていただいた皆様も忍者ガイデン4の発売前にぜひ本作をお楽しみください。今年はチーム忍者創立30周年の節目であり、本日発表させていただいた忍者ガイデン4を含め2025年は忍者の年、イヤーオブザ忍者となります。ぜひ忍者ガイデンシリーズの展開にご注目ください。本日はありがとうございました。
Here's the real question, fans. Is Ayane no Pawn or is Pawn no Ayane?
You know, I'm physically in the room. I can slap him now if you need me.
Pawn is his unabashedly favorite muscle group.
Hi, and welcome to Compulsion Games here in Montreal, Canada. At our studio, we care about world building.
Really?
And we treat the setting almost like a character of its own. From the magical noir of contrast to the alternate history of We Happy Few, we draw inspiration from the landscape to shape mood, drama, and intrigue. For South of Midnight, our third-person action-adventure game, the story and characters bring a folkloric Deep South to life.
Oh,
This gave us
I
a
had
chance to
said,
explore
is
Southern Gothic themes with a dark
Ayane
fantasy
no
twist.
Pawn or is Pawn
So while
no
our protagonist
Ayane?
Hazel is at the forefront
Yeah,
of our
wh-
story,
which one's better?
it's the macabre elements and larger-than-life creatures that will leave a mark on her journey and growth.
It is really picking up out there. Did you pack everything?
Mama, this ain't my first hurricane. I know what to do.
As long as you didn't forget the
Flashlights and batteries.
Oh, shoot, we got 5 minutes. Let's go.
Won't be rushed if you didn't.
Don't mumble. Speak on it.
I said we
Dawn's
wouldn't be
better
rushed
than
if
Iona?
you didn't waste all that
Okay.
time at the shelter.
Now, you want to bring this up right now.
I'm just saying.
Hazel, please.
We might need some help. I might need some help. While you're out helping everybody else.
Hazel!
Hazel! Mama! Hazel may start her journey as a typical 19-year-old, but disastrous events will push her into a darkly magical world where she'll learn who she really is and how to tap into weaving, an ancient magical power that redefines her trajectory in life.
The land itself chooses Hazel as a weaver. Someone who can see beyond the surface and tap into a deeper reality, the grand tapestry. Weavers can see the fabric binding our world, connecting people, nature, and echoes of the past.
Keep those hands to yourself.
Hazel can perceive both the mystical strands and stigmas in the world. Through her newfound power, she reweaves these stigmas and mends the afflicted creatures she encounters.
As Hazel discovers her power, the world gradually shifts into the surreal, revealing that creatures from the old folktales actually exist.
I'm actually really curious about this game.
My salvation.
Among them is good old Catfish, the storyteller who becomes both the guide and companion to Hazel across the game.
It ain't every day I hear about a new weaver such as yourself. Would you kindly do your weaving thing and help me down?
Meeting Catfish marks the true beginning of Hazel's journey. All of Hazel's arsenal and powers are designed around textile crafting and traditional spinning wheels. Her weapons include a spindle, 2 weaving hooks, and a distaff. Her magic abilities manifest with supernatural lace-like patterns, blending the traditional craft with mystical elements. Hazel engages with the world through a variety of movement abilities. Those abilities also help Hazel progress on a journey.
As her journey unfolds, Hazel will master new weaving abilities, using them to traverse the world, conjure objects, and confront adversaries.
Combat is about
Wait, so there
understanding
actually is
and
combat.
adapting to different enemy archetypes known as Aints, the manifestations of corruption Hazel encounters.
These hates trap Hazel in combat until she unravels them,
Looked like it.
destroying them in the process.
Each Aint has its own unique moveset, strengths, and weaknesses that you'll need to learn and adapt to. For example, the slug burrows on the ground and unleashes devastating strikes from afar, while the Ravager closes the distance with chilling speed. Hazel can counter these threats with agile melee abilities to execute powerful combos, jump attacks, and charge attacks. But close combat is risky and can backfire because Aints have powerful defensive abilities. Mastering your magical skills becomes the key to gaining the upper hand in combat. Push, pull, and weave are some of the spells at your disposal that give you a tactical advantage during a fight. Timing is everything. Pull distant enemies close to start melee combos, push them back to interrupt and stun their attack. Then press the advantage with follow-up strikes. Spells interact uniquely with each enemy type, creating dynamic combat scenarios, especially when facing multiple types of opponents at the same time. Once near death, enemies can be unraveled, breaking their core and setting them free of their corruption, which has the added benefit of providing health boosts and reducing ability cooldowns. If you play your combos right, you can enhance Hazel's combat readiness and keep on chaining her abilities. As Hazel progresses in the game, she unlocks new moves and improved abilities, and you'll have to decide which areas to prioritize. The upgrades will change how you approach combat, like enhancing area effect attacks, or refining push and pull skills to improve precision and make them feel more rewarding. The combat system is fast and responsive, built around chaining attacks, landing precise strikes, and unraveling enemies.
You mind if I take a look around?
You can see every place old Molly terrorized and more. Now for the low, low price of $1.
In Hazel's search for her mother, you'll explore multiple regions, each ruled by a mythical creature with their own Southern Gothic history. You'll gradually uncover the backstories of these beings, once human or animal, who were transformed by tragedy, their secrets waiting to be discovered. As a weaver, Hazel heals these creatures by collecting fragments of haunted memories. We call these echoes, which reveal each creature's past. Hazel must experience these echoes before she can mend them.
What kind of person would do that to someone?
We design each region to reflect the creature that's been doomed to wander it. From the atmospheric environment to unique music themes composed for each one. While not all encounters lead to direct combat, Azo will need to face mythical creatures in epic confrontation before she can heal them. Our boss encounters and gameplay sequences also reflects the uniqueness of each creature, with distinct mechanics that center around a specific thematic. These encounters feature multiple phases that ramp up in complexity. As the encounters progress, the musical theme builds up, cranking the tension alongside the fight. Whether it's Two-Toed Tom or hugging Molly, each of these larger-than-life creatures is inspired by Southern folklore and lead to climactic battles.
We got a long journey ahead.
South of Midnight unfolds as a hero's journey, and as Hazel, you'll travel through a tapestry of Southern-inspired landscapes. From abysmal swamps to flooded farmlands to the Appalachian peaks. In our magical South, decaying buildings reclaimed by nature stand moments away from a hungry Rugaloo. And as Hazel delves deeper, reality bends ever more toward the fantastical.
The history, landscape, and folklore of the American Deep South fill our world, and our team has infused the game with thoughtful details and environmental storytelling, like our bottle trees and haint blue porches, which are said to ward off evil spirits. The way to the past emerges as central themes, which you can see through old abandoned buildings and businesses struggling to survive. As you explore, you'll meet locals who stayed behind even in the face of a hurricane.
So I'm the last person left here. All those damn haints. This part of the river's filthy with them.
Artistically, we're staying true to our Moody Compulsion signature style, but this time we're using a handcrafted approach inspired by stop-motion animation, which allows our team to bring a distinct personality and tone into every prop and character. Because this folklore is open to visual interpretation, we embrace the freedom to reimagine these creatures and their stories, to adapt how they look, and to craft our own version of a fantastical Deep South.
At Compulsion Games, we love to craft around central themes. We're lucky to have talent across all our disciplines that collaborate to give South of Midnight such a unique personality. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into South of Midnight. We're thrilled to announce that the game will launch on April 8th, and pre-orders are now available on Xbox and Steam.
Alright, I'm interested.
Where's the pause button on this? What? So that's how we pause. I want to stop and talk about this one for a minute. So, I saw the trailer for this a while back, and I was intrigued. The art style is really impressive, but it was just a teaser trailer, so they didn't show a lot. They did show characters, like enemies and stuff. They didn't show any combat or show you fighting them. So I wasn't sure if it was like a combat game, a sneak away from them game, or some clever thing where you don't actually fight them, but you like whatever magical them away, you know? So seeing combat, seeing a skill tree, and seeing that expanded thing, I'm kind of excited for. I think that really sheds to light a lot of the questions I had when I saw the first trailer. I 100% love the style of it.
Oh, yeah.
Something I saw in the original trailer that they did not show here is there's a very Baron Samedi-esque character in there
Okay.
that she goes up and speaks with. That I was like, okay, that's neat. I'm digging that. I love the feel for this. But when they said that it was their Montreal studio, I'm like, wait, no way. The heavy southern bayou feel of it, I thought for sure it was like a New Orleans company. Some studio down there working on it. I give them credit. It feels like they nailed it from everything they've shown.
Right. I mean, I'm gonna be a little bit more reserved in terms of my anticipation for this game, but I do intend to play it.
Right.
I do intend to see it. I'm from the South itself.
Right.
So I am a little bit more familiar with some of the stuff that they're trying to reference there. So jury's still out for me, but
oh yeah, no, jury's still out for me too. Because they're trying to put. It sounds like they're trying to do something with a heavy story emphasis, and for that entire trailer, for everything they showed, they maybe showed 10 seconds of combat in everything they did.
Right. Yeah.
It's definitely not going to be the primary focus, but a part of it. I'm just saying, it looks beautiful. I'm surprised by the studio. I definitely thought, given the reference material and everything, that I was like, oh, okay. But I'm enjoying the reference material they're using. I love the art style, and I'm not going to be like, oh my gosh, this is going to be fantastic. Like you said, this is one that's on my to-watch list. If it's coming to Game Pass on day one, then I'm definitely going to, give it a shot for sure.
Oh, April 8th so far, so...
Yeah. Yep. I'm definitely going to reserve full judgment for when I play it. I think, given what they showed, oh yeah, we got combat and skill trees and all this stuff, but then focusing down so much on the story stuff and everything they were doing, they're going to have to balance that really well for them to pull off the kind of thing they're aiming for. So it's definitely going to be is it going to be a story game with small combat breaks or a combat game with small story breaks?
Right.
From the look of it, it's going to be, more akin to a walking simulator.
I do find myself a little bit concerned about that combat system.
Yeah.
They're going to have to tune it really, really tightly, I think.
Yeah. I think the combat looks decent. I think it's going to more focus on the boss fights than just things walking around. And it definitely looks like it's going to be a story game with small intermittent combat breaks. It definitely, the way they focused on it, and everything that they showed, kind of leads me to feel like combat is a tertiary objective for them. And so we'll see how it comes out. But yeah, no, I just wanted to touch on some of the differences that I saw and some of the, just because that is, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do with it and what happens. I wish them the best of luck in a market where things aren't exactly performing recently.
It's true. Yeah.
Granted, a lot of the reasons it's not performing is because they're not listening into gamers and not giving them what they want. As long as they can balance this right, I think they'll nail it. It looks good. The story material is good quality to work with. I'm hoping they nail that balance, and I hope they pull it off. So
yeah, here's hoping.
All right. Sandfall.
Bonjour everyone. We are Sunfall Interactive and welcome to our manor. We are a small studio based in Montpellier, France, working on our first game, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. It's a turn-based RPG set in a fantasy version of late 19th century Belle Epoque France.
Here we are.
Our grand adventure in game development actually started as a solo passion project. I wanted to create something like the JRPGs with turn-based combat I grew up with and loved, but that fully leveraged the latest tech, refresh the genre with new features, and took place in a compelling world. I knew I needed help to realize my dream. First, I turned to a programmer I knew would get it.
Guillaume and I started trading ideas right away, and that quickly turned into trading files back and forth. Soon, I was creating the first prototypes of the reactive turn-based system, combining real-time offense and defense element, and a cinematic battle camera system. Things really clicked when we tested the first version of those features. We felt we had something both challenging and fun.
As Tom and I went back and forth and iterated on game elements, a vision started to come together, and I shared it with an old friend from university.
Guillaume and I are both passionate gamers, and when he described the project, I quit my job the following week and joined the team without hesitation. Because I believe that in video games, success always starts with a strong creative vision. And we had that, defined by 3 core elements. A story with great emotional depth, gameplay that innovates on the classics we love, and a world that is completely original, beautiful, and immersive. We founded Central Interactive on these tenets: a group of friends with a shared vision and the drive to make something great.
This too is your legacy.
Core to every great RPG is a compelling story. And Guillaume and I spent 4 years intensively developing and refining ours. And that started with the hook. 67 years ago, a massive slumbering paintress and a monolith appeared with no warning. Once a year, the paintress wakes and paints a number on her monolith, and everyone who has passed that age is erased. Every year, that number ticks down, and everyone dies younger and younger. Expeditions depart to kill the paintress, determined to fight until their final breath, but none have ever returned. Our story follows Expedition 33.
Expeditioners, we honor your dedication.
Guillaume and I knew early on that we didn't want to focus on good versus evil. What's interesting to us are people who, yes, are flawed, but who care deeply about each other. And conflicts arise because they have different perspectives on what needs to be done.
I'm sorry about earlier.
We wanted our story to feel dark and mature, with adult characters who feel like real people with real experiences.
I'm always missing something that everyone else just gets.
The heart of the story is about overcoming an existential threat while struggling with loss and grief. And it's rooted in the characters' relationships, both to each other and to themselves.
What are we gonna do, huh? Tell me. What are we gonna do?
In a world like this, how does one stay hopeful or make peace with their fate? What duty do we owe to each other or to ourselves? These questions are deeply personal to me, and they permeate the story behind the story.
Know that Lumiere fights with you. Tomorrow comes Expedition 33.
The characters all have their own motivations and perspectives. Gustave and Lune are deeply invested in the expedition, even if they fight all the time. To them, the mission is tied not only to their family, it's central to their identity and purpose.
Protocol doesn't cover every contingency. You know that.
Contrast that with Ciel, whose darkest days have already happened.
What are the stars whispering to you? Actually, I'm the one whispering to them. It's something my dad and I used to do.
And Maëlle, who cares more about really living her life, not just living longer.
Gustave, are you real?
It's not all dark, though. Along the way, they meet various colorful NPCs and recruit Monoko, who is a friendly but kinda bloodthirsty philosopher and a fully playable character. He has a really cool battle mechanic where he can turn into the enemies he defeats.
What are you doing?
Just need the foot. Aha!
He's very, very old and has seen many expeditions come and go. He is a jest troll, which are a group of playful beings who view battle as a form of meditation. They're fun and sort of ridiculous. You'll meet Monoko and many other jest trolls across the game.
Bonjour.
And of course, there is Esquier, who is one of the oldest and lore-wise the most powerful creatures in the verse.
Esquier is that powerful?
He will be your mount and help you travel to secret corners of the world. And if you bring him back his special stones, you can unlock abilities for him to access new areas of the world and find exciting secrets.
I'm strong, but I'm not that strong.
Everyone has their own reason for joining the expedition, and each of them has their own story arc and resolution that we think players will really connect with.
In addition to a strong narrative, we had a clear vision for our own take on the genre's core gameplay. Our reactive turn-based system takes the traditional turn-based battle mechanic we love and adds real-time reaction, which gives combat greater intensity and dynamism. During enemy turns, you can negate all damage by dodging or parrying at the right time. But balancing turn-based with real-time mechanics took a long time to get right. During initial playtests, turn-based players often found the real-time elements too hard. Some of us are still traumatized by enemies from back then. We've done a lot of rebalancing since, and with a lot of iteration, we ultimately came up with a formula that we're proud of. Players who are good at real-time can take more risks, and others can counterbalance with items and strategies. A big part of that formula lies in the many ways you can customize your character. We spend a lot of time designing each character's unique mechanics and their custom skill trees. Our philosophy is making every type of playstyle viable so that everyone can have fun with how they play the game. Each character has a unique mechanic. Mel switches between stances which can ultimately boost defense or power. I personally like to make Mel the protector of the group, but I'm pretty much the only one at the studio who plays her that way. Most people play her as a glass cannon with Gustav's complementary skills. The characters can also equip hundreds of passive effects, which in our game are called Lumina. Every character has more than 20 unique skills in their skill tree and hundreds of passive effects they can gain through Lumina and weapons. So there are a ton of builds and playstyle to explore. Needless to say, we can't wait to see how you choose to play and what kinds of build you'll design that we probably never even imagined.
Our story is set in the French fantasy world, and I was really excited to design something unique. Every level has its own color and texture identity. For example, the Gestural Village is an early area in the game where players can enjoy a fun break. We wanted something that feels chaotic, grungy, and toy-like. It's basically a bazaar. Everything's disorganized, chaos everywhere, huts are unsafe, built without much thought. It's a place where anyone could fight you at any point, which is pretty much what the Gestrals are like. The Gestral Village is hidden inside the ancient sanctuary. The ideas here were forest, labyrinth, and sentinels. I designed it as a vibrant place, like an old graveyard of Gestrals, or forgotten wooden toys in a box, with two main colors, red and white. I wanted to make it feel cozy, hidden from danger, with traps and labyrinths in case enemies get in. Same process with the characters. Minoko came in a single concept. I thought of a monkey-like body, white fur with a black and red flat mask.
Ladies, could I?
Ow!
Definitely a Gestral.
For Eske, we needed a cuddly companion to take us around the world. I thought instantly of a giant inflatable balloon and old Victorian pillows with many intricate motifs. We start with the core themes and ideas, and the visuals grow organically from there.
From the very start of the project, there was one thing that we absolutely wanted to bring back from older JRPGs. A feature we really loved, but is very rare these days. A completely 3D and navigable world map. Yes, we've got a world map. And it was a real challenge to create, both artistically and technically. And it ended up a lot bigger than we expected. You'll definitely need Eske's help traveling around.
Here we go!
We're super happy with the result, though, as there's a lot of side paths and entire hidden levels. If you want to fight the toughest bosses of the game, you will have to explore. Good luck.
We've poured our hearts and souls into this game for the past 4 years. That's why we're delighted to announce that Expedition 33 launches on April 24th on Xbox Series X and S and is available day one with Xbox Game Pass. You can already wishlist the game and follow us for more info.
We are super excited to invite you into the world of Expedition 33. We are a small, passionate team, it's our debut game, and we can't wait for you to discover our story, our world, and our take on the turn-based genre. On behalf of everyone at Sunfall, thank you for joining us. Tomorrow comes.
Demain viendra.
Tomorrow comes.
Demain
It looks
viendra.
really good.
Demain viendra.
They did
Tomorrow comes.
on the regular trailer for it. They actually did an extended play of one specific area where they kind of walk through the area and then trigger a fight. And the scenery is fantastic. It looks like they're literally underwater without the water. Like they have the reflections coming from up above and like the little droplets coming up. And things are, waving around, but they're not underwater. Yeah, it looks amazing.
Hello, and welcome to Dallas, Texas, home of id Software. Where more than 30 years ago, a small team of game developers helped define and set a course for first-person shooters. A lot has changed since then, but our team is as passionate as ever. And the most important values at the core of our games, innovation, craftsmanship, and performance, remain a priority for us to this day.
And as you're about to see, those values are infused in every aspect of this latest installment in the legendary Doom franchise. It is an honor to work on this game, to carry on its tradition of creating all-out, groundbreaking levels of fun.
So now, we're excited to share with you a look at our most ambitious game yet. This is Doom: The Dark Ages.
That was so stupid I mouthed the words. In Doom: The Dark Ages, you will feel like the superweapon in the center of a medieval war against hell. Set in a cinematic sci-fi fantasy world full of locations to explore, powerful weapons to unlock, and enemies to conquer. This is a prequel to Doom 2016, and that's given us the opportunity to reimagine every aspect of this experience.
I can understand.
So if you're new to the franchise, then Doom: The Dark Ages will be the perfect entry point into the series. And if you're a longtime fan, then you'll be proud to see, in a lot of ways, the feel of the game is really a return to form. So let's break it down, starting with the combat.
How they justify the medieval stuff. I think it's
in Doom Eternal, you felt like a fighter jet. In Doom: The Dark Ages, you'll be an iron tank. Heavy, strong, but still fast. A grounded combat system with an emphasis on power over the acrobatics of Doom Eternal. And a balance between enemy projectiles and player movement speed that makes strafing to aim viable again, just like in the classic Doom games. But it's not all about nostalgia. Innovation is the goal, always. And so for Doom: The Dark Ages, it's an all-new world with new tools and new mechanics to master. Let me introduce you to the Shield Saw. Block. Throw. Parry. Deflect. All from one input. It's contextual, tons of depth on a single button press. You know, we want every Doom game to stand on its own as a unique experience. So in 2016, we asked you to run and gun. In Doom Eternal, it was jump and shoot. And in Doom: The Dark Ages, you're gonna stand and fight. And the Shield Saw will give you the strength to go head-to-head with some of the biggest, baddest demons we've ever created at id. But that's not all, because if you're gonna stand and fight, then you gotta have something to follow up that opening parry with. How about an iron flail?
Okay.
Or maybe an electrified gauntlet.
Sure.
Or even a Doom spiked mace.
Yeah.
That's right, we have 3 melee options that are part of a melee system. All on one input, complete with combos and upgrades, and it's totally awesome. And you can finish off the demons now with an all-new, unsynced, completely in the player's control glory kill system. From any angle, in and out, as you see fit. And it feels amazing. You'll feel unstoppable, smashing your way through the horde with total freedom. And that seems like a ton, but that's just 2 inputs. We got one more really important button that we haven't talked about yet. The trigger. That's right, we've saved the best for last. Doom has and always will be all about the guns, and Dark Ages has some of the most ridiculously powerful weapons that we've ever created. Mean. Ancient. Brutal torture machines, built to butcher, impale, and shred the minions of hell with. Only in Doom, that's the mission statement for the design of these never-before-seen, insanely fun-to-use tools of mayhem that only the Slayer has the power to wield. So let's take a look at some extended gameplay footage and see how these medieval mechanics synergize with the enemies and the environments to form the new combat loop for Doom: The Dark Ages. Under the hood, for the first time in an id game, we've made our combat more approachable and flexible than ever before, with a new difficulty system and sliders that will allow players to tune the speed and challenge of the game to whatever fits them best. You can slow things down or speed them up. It's a Doom for all Slayers.
Yes.
And the gameplay doesn't end with just the Slayer. We finally have for you, you've been waiting for 2 games now, to get in and pilot your very own 30-story Atlan, which is a mech. It's the size of a building, it's powerful, and you can beat giant Titan-sized demons to death with your gauntleted fists. And if that wasn't enough, we also have for you your very own fire-breathing, Gatling gun-toting cybernetic dragon. Neither of these are one-and-done features either. They have a full suite of abilities and even mini-bosses. The spectacle is epic. The power fantasy is unlike anything we've made it in. And the combat systems behind these features are deep and tons of fun. And as cool as all that is, we know that fans of single-player action games expect more than just great combat to pull them through the experience. So we're excited to share with you not just the gunplay, but the world of Doom: The Dark Ages. Your hero's journey will take you to the far reaches of the Doom universe. Mysterious worlds from the Slayer's past, dark forests, dungeons, ancient hellscapes, battlefields, and worlds beyond. And through exploration, you'll be unlocking new abilities and godlike powers every step of the way. Now armed with your trusty shield saw, you're gonna cut, leap, and smash your way through environments full of secrets and treasures. There's always something new waiting to be discovered or destroyed.
Doom: The Dark
Now let's
Ages.
take a closer look at just one of the many missions you'll experience in Doom: The Dark Ages. In this level, you will meet the enemy at the gates and save a city from certain destruction. Explore the medieval battlefield outside the castle walls, seeking out targets and enemy formations along the way to engage with as you see fit, with any gun you choose. Explore what is the largest play space ever in a Doom game, discovering secret caves and dungeon-like mines in search of vital resources. You control the pace of the game. Where you go, who you fight, and the objectives you pursue. It's a Doom sandbox full of war and riches. Once you've broken the enemy assault, head back to the main gates, because the battle isn't over yet. And the soundtrack to your epic adventures will be composed by the award-winning team at Finishing Move, providing you with a metal soundscape that's loaded with guitars, medieval vibes, and pure adrenaline. You'll feel like you're expanding the legend of the Slayer with every mission you complete. And speaking of that legend, the story of Doom: The Dark Ages, like everything else in the game, is big. It's a summer blockbuster event with everything on the line, and you are the star of the show. Your power is coveted by your enemies and withheld from your allies. With the Slayer imprisoned at the start of our story, the balance of power between good and evil is shifting, and time is running out. It's a new story and the perfect entry point for new players. It's easier to access now as we've taken the narrative out of the codex and into the cutscenes, featuring new characters, old allies, and powerful new villains. And for returning players, it leads directly into the Doom 2016 Slayer's Testaments. It's an action story worthy of the Slayer's legend.
We've got 10 years of making modern Doom games together, and we've done better with every game we've made.
The hope with all this, the goal, is to give players an experience that's as fun to play as it was to make, and make something that's good enough to become the best game id has ever made.
But that is for you to decide. When Doom: The Dark Ages releases,
You forget there's a story to Doom sometimes, yeah. I can see that, that makes sense.
Well, I mean, you know,
You will feel like the super weapon in the center of a medieval war against hell.
Well, and
All of
this is going to
Hazel's
be the
powers
first
are
Doom
designed
that's had
around
like
textile crafting and
dedicated
spinning.
cutscenes.
The combat system is built around chaining
verbal
attacks and
story.
leveling enemies.
The older Dooms, it was
Reactive
all
turn-based
told
system
in
adds
the,
real-time
like the
reaction,
holotapes
which gives
you
combat
find.
greater intensity,
Audio recordings and text logs and whatnot.
リングやシリーズおなじみの体術など忍者アクションを駆使して乗り越えていくことになります
皆様に進化した忍者ガイデンを触っていただける日を楽しみにしています
New one doing much more visual. I can see where, like they said, it's much more deep in the correct. Yeah, so that's that showcase. I wasn't sure how long it was going to be or what all it was going to show. They made it sound like it was a bigger presentation. But yeah, so brand new Ninja Gaiden and Ninja Gaiden 2 Black fully remastered, already available right now. Yeah, I couldn't see where the audio was for the game, so that, or for the video, so that doesn't surprise me that it was louder than we were.
Yeah, I was kind of figuring that might be the case, but
Plus, there was also double audio because we're still watching it in real time, so it's also getting picked up on the mic, so I know that didn't help things. But yeah. new Ninja Gaiden game coming out in fall, but right now you can get the fully remastered Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. Fully remastered. Logged too many frustrating hours into that one. Yeah, same. Song of the South really has my interests peak. I love the art style.
Song of Midnight, actually. It's not Song of the South.
South of Midnight.
Or South of Midnight. Wow.
Yeah.
You said Song of the South. That just got me going. It's not what that is.
South of Midnight really has a good style to it. Has an interesting story opening, and has some interesting material to work with. So I'm really curious to see where that goes. Ninja Gaiden Black wasn't quite Souls-like, but it was certainly difficult. Yeah,
yeah, it was approaching.
It was
very much approaching.
The only that's what we were talking about earlier when that came on is the only difference between Ninja Gaiden 2 Black and Souls-like games is the fact that in Souls-likes you're supposed to die regularly. And in that one, you always had to reset at the checkpoint.
Right. Here, go through half this level before you fight this boss again.
Yeah, and then yeah, so South of Midnight looks interesting, and there's a lot of questions about it still, and they're going to have to do some balancing to make it work, but I will give it a shot and hope they do good. Expedition 33.
Very interested in
that.
It's been a long time since I've played a turn-based RPG like that.
Right. And they showed a lot more in that trailer than what they have in their other ones about the world as a whole. And so I'm much more interested in the story now and what they have to show about it. In the previous trailers, they didn't really speak about the world so much. They did mention the maiden, they did mention the obelisk, and they did mention it counting down. They didn't mention everybody of the age above that number disappearing.
Yeah.
That was interesting. They also didn't show so much of the different aspects of the world. They only kind of showed the one game area, which was beautiful, but the rest of the world also looks amazing. And but they did show off, like I said, a bit of the walking around and interacting with the world, and then the combat of it. This delved much more into the story portion of it and the mechanics of it, and I'm definitely, I am excited for that one. That's going to be a great JRPG style game. I hope. Could be a fantastic new property. Who knows what else can pop out of that studio if they pull this off. And then, of course, Doom the Dark Ages. I mean, Doom is a staple. Doom's a classic. They know what they're doing by now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very interested to see which story it's going to tell.
Right.
But I mean, let's face it, that's going to be surface level stuff.
Right.
Literally, we're just there for more demon slaying.
More demon slaying, more shooty bang bang. The style of it, again, a lot of these things are very stylized. Love-hate relationship with JRPGs, that one looks good. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot to commit to. You have to commit to go through those games, but those are the kind of games I love. I very much enjoy that. You can see right now on my dash, Monster Hunter Wilds is pre-installed. I'm waiting for that to come out at the end of February. You can see Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Fallout 4, Warframe, Pal World and Clans. It's all big open world, lengthy games. Turn-based games, RPG
game
games.
You have been playing recently has been Clans.
Yeah, and even that, it's like linear in the storyline and the map setting, but it's still a fairly lengthy game. It's taking us a while to go through it.
Yeah, although granted, as I've gone back and I've actually watched our VODs, there's a significant amount of time that's taken up just by customization.
Oh yeah, no, that's 100% a big thing in that. Is there's a lot of time taken up in balancing out. Okay, well, we can put this here, we can put that there. Now that we've unlocked the final mech, we're kind of beyond that. There may be a little bit of balancing here and there, depending on what's up, but for the most part, I think we're kind of set with our layouts. But yeah, no, they're definitely time sinks, and I am not afraid to sink that time into a good RPG, and that looks like a good JRPG. I don't think I'm going to have a problem sinking time into that one. But
yeah, we'll have to see where it goes. Finding time, it can be somewhat difficult now that we're all grown up.
Right. That's absolutely. So I'm not saying I'll get through it quickly, but I am going to get through it. I don't care if it takes me 4 years. I'm going to hit the end of that game. But then and then Doom, Dark Ages. They definitely have mentioned that. I didn't see with South of Midnight what it was going to be on. Ninja Gaiden said it was coming to all platforms. I don't know about Switch. I didn't look for that tag on there, and Switch does not get a lot of those kind of games. But for Doom and Expedition 33 and for Ninja Gaiden, they did say PlayStation, Xbox, PC, all those things. I believe in South of Midnight they mentioned wishlisting it on Steam. So I think it's going to come to other platforms as well. I think all 4 of those games are. But I know at least the big 3 are for sure. Yeah. And just, again, being more of a high fantasy setting kind of fan, I mean, as much as I am a sci-fi fan, I'm a high fantasy fan too. I think that Doom the Dark Ages did a really great job literally mashing the two together. Yeah. Instead of running around with the shotgun and the pistol and the they have that skull grinder, bone spitter. They've got that literal metal spike shooter. Some very interesting redesigns on the weapons to make them look interesting. His armor. Yeah. I'm really curious to see the story, because I didn't get to play Eternal, so I don't really know anything about the Slayer stories or whatever they're mentioning. So I don't know how, again, I'm curious how they have it in a medieval setting and how they're going to tie that into the newer games. I'm really interested in that. Yeah. No, I know you're not like super big into it. I know you do enjoy some of it. I mean, you dabble in D&D and have watched Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. You're not opposed to it, but you're definitely much more of a superhero, sci-fi, Geek Devotions. He and I have been friends since the 5th grade, and he's the other person that I told you I purchased when I came back from Japan. I gave you that Yokohama Gundam model. I told you I got it for one other person. It's him. He's the other major Gundam fan.
A fellow giant robot enjoyer.
Yes, very much a fellow giant robot enjoyer. Yeah, he definitely prefers the mech lifestyle as well. But yeah, no, that I am definitely looking forward to those. I didn't realize how soon those are coming out too.
Yeah, that's practically right around the corner.
Yeah, April and May. Ninja Gaiden just says fall, but I'm fine with that.
Give you time to take care of everything else first.
I mean, to be fair, only 2 of those are kind of on the priority list, and that's Expedition 33 and Doom. South of Midnight is coming out first, and so I'll probably get to that just because it is coming out first. Give it a trial. And I may or may not continue going with that one, but yeah, the Doom and Expedition 33. LOL, sup, fellow Gundam fan. Betty or Xeon?
Oh, that is a question. Loaded. In terms of Gunpla, I like Betty Suits better. In terms of how the plot went overall, I don't know. There's downsides to both of them. That being said, I mean, like I was Fetty all the way, and then I watched 0080, and that made me cry. Not gonna lie, 0080 made me cry. Not ugly cry, but it did make me cry. But I mean, yes, I have been known to let loose a Seek Xeon every now and again.
No, he's done a couple streams here back. He did one, or he did a couple quite a while ago when they came out with the Gundam Overwatch clone. They did the Gundam kind of FPS.
Oh yeah, when they did Gundam Evolution and managed it so badly.
I don't remember the name of it. Evolution, it might be that one.
Because the only other FPS style Gundam game that I can think of off the top of my head was 0079, the one set in Australia. And that's really basically MechWarrior Gundam. Right.
No, it came out 2023, I want to say. It was basically Overwatch but with Gundams. And yeah, it didn't last very long. And then recently, I say recently, a couple months back, he's done a couple streams playing Gundam Breaker 4.
Ah, okay, yeah.
That one's actually pretty interesting. That one's actually kind of got me interested in that one.
Where you play through and you pick up the parts like models.
Yeah.
You're essentially doing build fighters.
Yeah. We actually ended up getting him in the game dual nuclear missile shooting rocket launchers. They actually shot out like nukes.
Yeah, okay, so you picked up the GPO2's cannon.
Yeah, no, he was doing some bounties or whatever against other players and ran into somebody who was just causing an area explosion on him every couple of seconds. And I had no idea what this is, and we figured out what it was and figured out that he was high enough level that it was available to him in the store, so we went and grabbed him.
The GPO2 shoulder fire nuke launcher. Yeah, that's a scary suit.
Yeah, he says 0080 is a heartbreaker, no shame. been walking a buddy of his through the UC on their podcast, slowly discovering there's no right answer to that question.
You can tell that the original Gundam series, everything in that universe was definitely meant to drive home that point that the war doesn't leave anybody winner.
Right.
You don't win, you survive.
Yeah. He said Gundam Evolution 4 was so mismanaged. Gundam Breakers 4 has been so fun. Still wants the new Dynasty Warriors Gundam. Yeah. It'd be nice if they redid one. I haven't played one for quite a while, and it's
still Dynasty Warriors Gundam was just fun.
Yeah. No, it was fun. The one I played was like the movement and the controls were a little bit janky. I think they were still figuring it out. That was like one of the first ones they ever came out with for that. Pants, put my 100,000 channel points on the line for Yuki Minami to win her match against Flying Penguin. She didn't win. Hope to bring her good luck in future matches. I have no idea exactly what you're talking about, Pants. Are you talking about Necro's stream? Or I'm not exactly.
Flying Penguin. That doesn't sound familiar.
It could be anything. So, an interesting subgenre that the Muscle Girls has led into. Oh, from Marigold? Where were you betting channel points on Marigold? Dynasty Warriors Gundam 2 was so good. Logged nearly 2,000 hours in over the years. Yeah. I think I only played the first one. I know they came out with a third one a few years back.
I seem to remember that they did do a third one, but I never got to play it.
I didn't get to play it either. I only played the very first one, and it was fun. It was good. It was Gundam, but the controls were a little janky trying to get it smoothed out. How are you betting? You can't bet channel points. How do you put your channel points on the line in that? Discord doesn't have channel points. Yeah, no, one of the interesting things about being a part of the Muscle Girl community is a lot of them are also into the wrestling community.
I see.
But Japan has a very interesting subgenre in wrestling, and that's what we watch. We don't watch like WWE. We don't watch The Rock fight Triple H 42 times.
You're not watching Fire Pro Wrestling.
And we're watching TJPW, Marigold. It's all female wrestling, and it's all really weird. We're watching Maki Ito. We're watching a girl who has a bigger team kill than most crazy college students in an FPS. It's very much you play a character, that character is what you are, but their matches are nowhere.
Hi y'all, this here is Rogue,
Hey.
Norzan, and don't you look as nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. And I just want to say a shout out to Random Encounters because we have had a random encounter here and I am just so happy. And keep an eye out for my new show, the X-Men 97. It's coming up in fall of 2023. See y'all. Bye.
I tried to block that from the mic. It didn't work. Got the double audio. I don't have my headset plugged in since we're running this, so any sound alerts that come through are going to get that double audio. I apologize for that.
What was that one for?
Oh, no, they just played it on its own. It's one that they could just play. There's a couple of them that they could just play. But, yeah, no, you bet it as a statement of show. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, no, they do some fun, high flying stuff and some technical moves. There are a couple of wrestlers in there that are actually big powerhouses and will do like pile drivers and stuff like that. Those are the ones that I tend to enjoy more. Um, Shoko Nakajima is fantastic. She's the biggest kaiju. She's like 4'11", 4'10", something like that. So even by Japanese standards, she's small, and she's got a fun costume with like a fur hat that comes on out. But she spins around and does stuff like Rey Mysterio, and her special is like a 619 style rope kick. She does some fun stuff. She's one of my absolute favorites. Maki Ito is like an interesting story in their world. She was a former idol who wanted to be an idol so bad, but like literally failed at it. The Idol show or the Idols group sang an opening for a couple of wrestling gigs, and then she ended up becoming a wrestler after getting kicked out of her idol group.
Okay.
And this is all like legitimate story. Like her as a person, she was in this idol group and then started doing the wrestling and got kicked out of the idol group. Kept going with the wrestling. Never won. Like lost almost every match because in there, like it's a popularity contest, just like it is with idols. And whichever girl is the most popular is the one who wins. It's more a popularity contest and less a storyline thing. Like in WWE, you know, they'll, okay, well, this person's going to cheat and they're going to get the belt and do this, and it's going to start this huge feud. And they have ongoing storylines. They don't do that in that. Like every storyline is one fight and then it's resolved and they have a big apology to each other. Thank you for the honor of fighting you. You've done so well. And then they part ways. Friendly because it's Japanese culture, you know, that's just what it is. But so there's not really like arcing storylines. It's a kind of a one and done thing. But in that, you also never know what's going to happen in the next show because it's always going to be something different. And most times there's not even a storyline to it at all. It's just these people are going to fight each other. Woo! And so Maki Ito really tried hard to be an idol and failed. And then when she was a wrestler, tried really hard to be a wrestler, and they had her losing every match. So she ended up doing tag team, and her tag partners always won titles, and she did not. So her tag partners would hold titles, and she wouldn't. And she ended up doing a lot of headlining and, you know, fighting against those people. There's a huge documentary this guy did on her as a person and a character. And I'll have to send that to you because it was actually really interesting to watch. It's decently long. But it goes through everything, and her character's just hilarious. And one of her things is that she's the cutest in the world, and but her head is like, you know, the moniker of being thick-skulled.
Oh, I see.
For being stupid. So her character is fairly dumb, but she literally has. There's a girl who has like a karate chop special. And she's like karate chops her head, and she will use her head to block people's attacks. And her big special is that she'll like run, stop, and just fall and do a falling headbutt on him. Which is kind of hilarious to watch them do that, especially when someone's like throwing a punch at her and she blocks it with her head. It's like, all right, so it's 100%. It's just the goofiest stuff with some really fun costumes and some really high flying, and it's all females. So it's been fun to watch and get into. It's a subgenre I didn't expect to fall into, but hey, I enjoy it. I don't go out of my way to watch a lot of that stuff. It's usually like Pants is saying, well, we do Discord watch parties where people share that stuff, and it's been fun to just kind of watch it. So, but yeah, I'll send you that thing on Makihito because I think you might find it entertaining.
Shoot that my way and get a chance. I'll.
Because I mean, it crosses the genres, and I never stopped to think about it before. You know, you're an anime Japanophile like we are.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I didn't stop to think, you know, maybe. I mean, you should join the Discord because, like I said, they do those watch parties and stuff kind of randomly. But yeah, no, I will send you that. I think you'll enjoy it. So, surprisingly, we had a really late start because we weren't sure what we were gonna do.
Yeah.
For a lot of this. Surprisingly, we've managed to be live for not quite 2 hours so far, but getting close. Yeah, like an hour 40. And considering that video was only 25 minutes long,
really?
We've managed to drag it out.
Well, I mean, you know, there's time to discuss between videos.
Yeah, we did pause and talk for a while. We didn't talk a whole ton before we started though. Of course, fighting with getting it to play took a little bit. Like, okay, let's start now.
Yeah. YouTube cutting in on you.
Yeah, please sign up with the thing. Okay, now which one are you? Okay, now which one are you? Okay, now which one are you? So I told you. Made me like click the I'm this person button 3 times. Once on my phone and twice on the app.
Thoughts on Marvel Rivals? I am interested.
Yeah. My thoughts aren't so good, but that's again because I'm not a PvP enjoyer. I don't really care for playing those kinds of games. There's some I'll touch every once in a while. Smite is one of the few ones I'll dig into here and there. But I mean, it's 100% reskinned Overwatch. As far as the mechanics and the style and everything. And nobody shied away from that fact. It's not a one-for-one ripoff. You know, it's definitely a genre that has appeared. A lot of things take that style. So it's not just like an FPS. It's very much a hold the point, move the bomb, do the thing. That follows in that same vein. One of the things I found very interesting that not other MOBAs do is the fact that they just give you every character instead of getting just a selection of them and then having to like unlock the others with either earned currency or paying for them to fast track it. No, you get every character at the start and then you can pay for skins and stuff, but they give you every character.
Interesting.
Been playing with it off and on. It's okay, taking a bit to get used to with the controller. Do appreciate the bonuses you get for team ups. Yeah, that's one interesting thing that they do that I haven't seen another MOBA do. Is certain characters can do team up powers. So for example, if you play as Captain America and there's either a Storm or a Thor on your team, they will electrify your shield that you can then throw and do a thing. So like you get these little team ups that if the same characters are together, you can activate that and do a special thing. I definitely think it's interesting. I think it's a fun direction for them to have taken the genre And I'm a fan of anything Marvel characters. That said, they've really done some interesting things with the designs. Some of the characters don't look like the characters, and I had to second guess myself on who they were. Like, the only reason I knew Hawkeye was Hawkeye is because he was carrying a bow.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Same with Winter Soldier. Because I think they gave him the wrong skin. I'm like, is that Winter Soldier? No, that can't. That's not Cable, is it? That can't be Cable. And come to find out, it was the Winter Soldier. He was running around with his pistol and a dark metal arm, and it was dark hair, so not Cable. But his arm was like whipping out into like robo tentacle things, like Cable. Which is what kind of threw me weird, because Winter Soldier doesn't do that. Yeah, he's got a robotic arm, but it's not like robotic arm, you know?
Yeah.
So that one kind of threw me. But a lot of them, like Venom and Anti-Venom, look very good. Hulk looks very good. Captain America is kind of a weird design. Kind of like that.
Oh, the more techy.
Yeah, like I'm gonna wear a bunch of football pads and electronics and put them together. And not even like that. More like the earlier version of him in the game before he puts on the Stark tech, where it's like he's wearing football pads on top of a military uniform, kind of thing. Yeah, some of the costumes were weird. Also didn't realize that Betsy is no longer Psylocke. So I don't know why she was suddenly an Asian girl. What do you mean Betsy is no longer Psylocke? Unless she changed her name. I mean, Psylocke was her character name.
Rob Liefeld vibes.
Yeah, the really way broader than they should be character designs.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It took me a couple of seconds to remember who he's talking about.
Yeah. Like the 90s era, way too broad to actually physically exist that way. What, Wish? The bot never notified you of the stream.
Bummer.
Ah. That actually could explain things. I don't remember seeing it. I don't know if we got a pop-up for it or not, honestly.
But I don't have Twitch set up on my new phone either, so I wouldn't have gotten it.
Well, not even Twitch, just Discord. Because anytime I go live, it pings in the Muscle Girl Discord and a couple other Discords.
Thank you, buddy. I did it for you.
Thank you for that resubscribe, Wish. Super appreciate that. Oh. Okay, yeah, that is weird. I didn't know that happened either. So, I don't know how familiar you are with Psylocke as a character.
I mean, pretty familiar.
Okay, so a psychic named Betsy took over the mind of an Asian ninja.
Yeah.
And became Psylocke. Apparently, that's not the case anymore. Betsy's mind went back into her original body and took another name, and the Asian girl is now Psylocke on her own. So apparently Betsy's mind has gone back to her original body. And so yeah, and became Captain Britain. So now Betsy's Captain Britain and different Asian girl is Asian girl with a completely different personality is kind of Psylocke. They took and split it. Okay. That's weird. Some of the designs of that game, though, are really awesome. Like the design for Cloak and Dagger.
Oh, yeah.
Really cool.
They're one character.
Yeah, they're one character and they swap out. And I mean, the way they look is fantastic. Like some of them, like I said, are kind of look weird, but yeah, no, like Cloak and Dagger is really awesome. A couple of those are really, really awesome. And yeah, just the fact that they let you use every character right from the outset, I think is amazing too. So, well, it's not my game style, I won't be playing it. I definitely think it's great for those who do love it. I definitely do not fault them for any of their choices. Maybe some of their costume choices.
True.
But aside from that, I think it's a really good game. So, the swap out feature is interesting because it changes their abilities, almost gives you two characters in one. Yeah, that's something I've seen them do in other games with other characters. Some of them will have, whether it's a persona like a mode shift or whether it's two characters that swap like that. Yeah, I always thought that premise was interesting in a lot of games. There's a character on Warframe who does it too. And they actually have 3 modes they switch between. They've got a neutral mode. It's Eclipse? Not Eclipse. That's not. I'm drawing a complete blank at the moment. But there's a character on Warframe that has been on it since I started playing. But it's really hard to get because in order to build that Warframe, you need to collect the parts for 2 Warframes. Equinox. That's it. Equinox. So you need to build Equinox Day and Equinox Night. One's black, one's white, and they've got a yin-yang motif going on. And so you have Equinox, their neutral form, half black, half white. But then you can shift to night aspect or to day aspect. And so it's kind of like having 3 characters in one with that one, because you've got the neutral and then the shift to one and the shift to the other. I have not been able to unlock that character because I have not been able to grind out every piece to build it. Seen any reports on the new Assassin's Creed? Overly confident. Some of the positive reviews are paid for, but more interesting mechanics be included, like seasons that automatically affect gameplay. I mean, I've heard a lot of reports on Assassin's Creed, and they are not very positive. If there are any positive reviews, then yes, they're paid for. In fact, the government of Japan sent them a cease and desist asking them to stop making the game. If you go to Japanese YouTube and look up any of the videos, they are dislike ratioed to the center of the earth and back, you know? It's insane. The Torygate scandal still just blows my mind that they would do that. No research at all. Absolutely not. Yeah, so in Japanese culture, the Torii gates are essentially what... comparing them to the cross is not strong enough. They're very much a holy symbol, but more than that, they're literally the gateway in which the gods come into our world in Japanese culture. The Torii gates are very reverent. And even in wartime, even in times of conflict, invasion, whenever they were burning villages and destroying castles, they would not touch Torii gates. They were still held with reverence. They never did battle around them. I mean, yeah, maybe there were some duels or stuff like that took place near them, but there weren't really battlefields near Torii Gates because they were very specifically leaving those places alone, leaving them untouched. So there's only one picture, one image of a broken Torii Gate where it's just the one pillar and a piece of it coming off kind of jaggedly. And that was after we dropped the atomic bomb on them, because it's the first thing it's the first act of war and malice that's ever destroyed a Torii Gate. Some of them have been damaged because of weather and natural effects and stuff, but it's the first ever time that someone has destroyed a Torii Gate was the atomic bomb. And so there's a picture of that, and that strikes a lot of meaning for Japanese people. Well, Ubisoft, in their infinite wisdom, when they were marketing the game, decided to make a pop vinyl style, big head, small body character figures. And there's two characters in the game. There is the black samurai, and then there's the lady ninja. And it is both characters. It is the black samurai standing there with the broken Torii Gate sitting up, and the ninja sitting on top of the arm coming off of the broken Torii Gate. It was a pretty big faux pas on their part, to say the very least. And even when they first released who the characters were going to be, just choosing to make Yasuke a character, the black samurai, the main character of the game, super controversial. They've been panned for that. Oh, yeah, they have dropped the ball in literally every form on this. So they try to take a character, and most times they create their own character and put them in the world around everyone else. Or take a character from history and put it around everyone else. And here they have the chance to take and make an Asian protagonist, an Asian character in an Asian setting, but they take a black man who is noted in history going to Japan, but was not a samurai, and they take this black man, make him a samurai, and you're in Asia, what makes sense? Plays the black character. Welcome to Japan, plays the black character. Yeah. So that's been a whole thing, but everything they've done since then has just been another step in making it worse. Their most recent delay on the game with their new release date is set to release on the anniversary of the what was the name of that cult? The Onryo. Hold on, what was the? I have to look this up real quick. Hold on. Japanese cult subway bombing. Shinriko. Yeah. So, yeah, the subway gassing. Yes, exactly. That's why I was just looking up the name. The Shinriko. the release date that they pushed the game back to, the current release date for the Japanese game, is the anniversary of the subway gassing attack. Yeah, so every turn they've taken with this game has been bad and very much not in the vein of respecting them at all. Like I said, it was to the point where it was getting so bad that, and this was before the pushback, that Japan literally sent them a cease and desist letter asking them to stop making the game. It's like, it's that bad. So, yeah, it's, I don't know. And it's to the point where this was supposed to come out last year, and they pushed it back, and then they pushed it back again. Ubisoft is already on the verge of bankruptcy.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
This game was supposed to save them, and it's having this much controversy, and it hasn't even come out yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, Star Wars Outlaws did not do them any favors. So.
Oh no, the last few games have not done them any favors. Star Wars Outlaw is a big one, yeah. But no, several of the most recent games have not done them very much justice or very well anything. To the point where, yeah, they have been talking about going private, removing themselves from the public market, because they currently have, they are a public company with shares and stakeholders and stuff like that. So there's been talk about unpublishing and going private with the company. There have been talks about removing the current CEO. There have been talks about declaring bankruptcy and shuttering the studio, and then there have been talks about Tencent buying the studio. And in all honesty, Tencent purchasing Ubisoft currently sounds like a very big possibility. Last I heard, it was kind of the bigger of the options open to them. So we will see what happens.
So,
I mean, Tencent already owned chunks of both EA and Epic, if I remember correctly. So it wouldn't be a first for them to do something like that. But yeah, no, it's Ubisoft is not in a good spot right now, and this game is not going to help them. Their Batman Beyond game may have actually been better than their recent games. Strong possibility. Very strong possibility. And they're the ones that they released the random, absolutely unadvertised, nobody knew that they were working on it, NFT minis game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Heard about that.
There was, I think there were 2 NFT games that they released within like 2 months of each other. That one and another one that I don't remember. Nobody even knew they were working on them. They're just releasing NFT cash grab items to try and help make them not sink as a company. They're not in a good spot. They're not looking good. So yeah, they are not looking good. Yeah, we got a super late start. It's already 5 o'clock.
Yep. It's getting close to the point where I should probably head back to the homestead.
Yeah, I was say.
Get some sleep.
Yeah, probably about that time where you're needing some rest, and about that time where the buses aren't gonna be running very much sooner.
I mean, they're getting better.
Oh, yeah?
About that. The one that rolls over by my house stops late at night like the rest of them do on regular weekdays. It's Friday, so
yeah.
But
I say I know they've got that 6 o'clock hour shift. So do they have more than 4 buses at night now? Is that? That's what it was before. Is at 6 p.m. they go down from however many buses they've got around the city. They only arrive once every half hour if you're on a main line, to 4 buses for the entire city.
Yeah, and they still run the loops.
Yeah.
They still run the loops. So, that was, I lived on that 31 loop, and then they took it out.
Oh, yeah.
And now the one that goes over by my apartment is the 12.
The 12. Okay. Interesting.
It stops on the other side of the street now, so I
yeah.
have to fight with crossing Fremont.
Yeah. That's one of the main routes. The 12 is one of the, or a variation of the 12 is one of the 4 nightly routes, yeah. Night times and Sundays is 4 buses for the entire city. And then Saturday is the same full buses as the weekly thing, but they're only hourly instead of half hourly. Because that's what a good city needs, is less public transit.
Excuse me. That's not about actually providing a transit system, it doesn't seem.
No. Need to figure out dinner plans. Might I suggest food as a possibility? How wild would it be if the new AC game came out when the new Ghost of Tsushima game drops? Ubisoft would just need to go ahead and dig a hole. Well, that's actually why they pushed it back, because it was so close to the release of a lot of other games, and I think that was one of them. Which is why they ended up pushing it back again, and now it's at that date that is the anniversary of the gas bombing. So, yeah, no, Ghosts of Tsushima will be interesting to see what happens with that one. Because the first one was so good. And so highly acclaimed. The second one, I think, should do good. But in the wake of this whole woke gamer anti-DEI stuff that's going on, that's causing a lot of games to fail, that game is actually on the list. I don't know if it's like on the list, but it's been mentioned.
Oh, on that the No Sweet Baby list?
No, not the No Sweet Baby list, but like that general thing where like any company that mentions modern gamers or modern audience, it usually has some kind of agenda in it. Companies where they stop doing male female body types and do AB body type, and like Dragon Age Veilguard adding top scars to their character customization and stuff.
Okay.
Like, that's legitimately they did before they released the game. That's one of the things they were very proud of, was in their character customization adding surgery scars for top scars and stuff, so that you can make trans characters, which I don't have a problem with most of that, but let's see. Stuck in ad. Every game has a female main character is why. Now you want Taco Bell. Dang, commercials worked. Well, it didn't help. I mean, you missed our giant face-sized burritos that we had at the start of our stream.
Yeah.
I was going to recommend that, burritos, but yeah, no, there's a place here in town that does California-style Mexican, and I am all for it. But yeah, no, so anything running with that DEI and modern audiences tags usually has been failing. I mean, gamers are getting more selective. They're not buying the games with the bugs. They're not. Games are starting to cost so much, prices are going up that unless it's a franchise they care about, they're not just delving into it, and they're more likely to wait for reviews to come out and see how the game lines up. And a lot of these ones, they're sacrificing storyline to try and push an agenda, like with Dragon Age Veilguard. The acting in it was atrocious, and it was all about cashing in on the name, and they're really trying to push that forced inclusion on everything. And so those are causing a lot of games right now to just tank. And what was it? Unknown 9? I think it was. Unknown 9. Officially announced that their game flopped and they were closing a lot of positions at their studio. Because at all-time game peak on day of release, and it's because the game was bundled in with hardware. There was like, if you bought like an Asus motherboard, you get the game for free. And so on release day, it had its peak concurrent player count of like 250 players.
Ouch.
And at time of recording, the person who was reporting on it, their in-game player count was like 80 or something like that. So, yeah, they've been doing poorly, to say the least. The reviews for Veilguard, I think, are at like 30% or something. Or there may have been another game like it. Like they've been reviewed poorly. And whether or not, like, I don't care how you feel about inclusion. Like, I'm not a fan of forced inclusion, but I don't mind inclusion. Some of my favorite games have had characters of color, you know? I have absolutely no problem with that. The characters of whatever nature. In fact, I mean, most games don't discuss the sexual orientation of characters, so why do you have to narrate them to be, you know, these characters here, no one ever talks about their relationship status with anybody, but that character there has to point out that he's gay. Well, any of them could be gay. It's just how life works.
Right.
And until you get to know somebody, that's not really something that comes up. So why do you have to, like, scream that that one character's gay? You're not talking about any other character. Just weird stuff. And again, I don't have any problem with most of that stuff being in there, but because they're just like forcing it down people's throats, it's causing a lot of it to fail. And it's forcing those things in there, it's taking away from the time that they could be using to actually create story and build characters. And it's causing the games to fail.
Yeah, okay.
Far Cry 6 had a few moments where it had some DEI that was a bit ham-fisted, but a lot of it's just brushed over and moved forward. It's a great game. Yeah. And that's the case. Like, it depends on how ham-fisted it is and whether or not it affects the overall storyline. But again, like, for me, that's more or less a minimal issue. But the fact that they're doing that and not focusing on other things. Like, again, the new Dragon Age of Veilguard, they were showing scenes of it, and some of it was involving that forced DEI, some of it wasn't. And just the voice acting in it is atrocious. It's so weak. The story is so weak.
Number I don't know.
Yeah, right. I get that. But yeah, the voice acting was terrible and the storyline was incredibly weak. Like the dialogue between the characters was just stupid. Missed our thoughts on Floyd.
The Mayweather fight? Ugh.
Oh, new secret Mortal Kombat character. It's a pink ninja who has the abilities of the other ninjas. His name is Floyd.
His name is Floyd. Okay, I was about to say the new Mortal Kombat character. You mean Conan?
I mean, I'd have to see what the pink ninja looks like to say something on that. I mean, it could work. I've seen worse. But the ninja who has the ability of the other ninjas, that's just too OP. Oh, Pink Floyd. Yeah. But.
All right, I'm done.
Yeah. Let's say. Literally appears in a rainbow of ninjas. I mean, did you do that just for the troll, or is that legitimate? Because, like, at first I thought you were speaking legitimately. Now I'm not so sure.
Say that's a dangerous pun right there.
Yeah, it's not a joke. Pull up the video. Okay. So, yeah. Actually, hold on. We got the console. We can share it with everybody. Let's see. Mortal Kombat. Of course, this thing doesn't have autocomplete. Mortal Kombat 1 Floyd. Everything we know about Floyd from IGN.
At US Cellular, you don't have to choose between a great phone and the right phone plan for you. You can get 4 free phones of your choice and...
Go ahead.
Easter eggs are deeply ingrained in the history of Mortal Kombat, with even the very first game including teases to a secret ninja known as Reptile, with clues that would occasionally pop up, like, look to La Luna. Well, secret ninjas have returned in the most recent update to Mortal Kombat 1, featuring a pink ninja named Floyd. Here's everything we know so far.
So multiple new ninjas.
First off, before we even begin, a huge shout out to the Thinny on Twitter, who has done a ton of work in compiling all this information. Basically, there are 37 challenges tied to Floyd, all of which are compiled in this sheet that the Thinny has made. Only a few of these challenges seem to be active at a given time, and those active challenges differ from player to player. When you do complete a challenge, you'll see a little Floyd notification pop up along with a short guitar riff. You can get them in versus matches and in towers, and difficulty doesn't seem to matter. But do note that it logs the challenges for both Player 1 and Player 2 separately. Player 2 has a different set of challenges, and if you've logged in as a guest, progress will be reset if you turn off the game. It doesn't seem to be clear yet how many of these notifications you need to trigger the secret fight. But eventually, once you complete enough of them, Floyd will challenge you on a brand new stage called Fields, which is reminiscent of the field from the very first MK1 trailer. Reportedly, if you manage to beat him, you will unlock the stage. The best way that I've found to get these notifications to pop up is doing versus matches and just going down the list one by one. Personally, I've gotten the Floyd notification to pop up 4 times. Once for losing a match without a single attack, most likely satisfying the losing is winning challenge, once by doing Kalina's ball roll 8 times in a row for the Ballin challenge, once by winning a match with a flawless victory using all uppercuts for the I'm Down 2 challenge, and once for winning a match using using only Scorpion's 3-3-3 combo, likely satisfying the condition for the kicking it challenge. Much like Reptile in the first MK, occasionally Floyd will pop up at the start of a match to give you a clue to one of your active challenges. Then he says that there's a 2% chance of this happening after playing 100 ladder matches, and that after 400 matches, you're guaranteed to fight him, at which point the counter will reset. There's a lot that's still unknown about this Easter egg, but this is where we're at so far. We'll keep an eye on it and make another video when things get a little more clear regarding how exactly to unlock the Floyd fight.
Okay, so that's just how to unlock him. Yeah, gameplay. Oh, yep, he's got the teleporting. The ice and the come over here. Lightning.
Yep.
Yeah, the appearance is pretty cool. The crystalline look of his ice pillar is kind of cool too. He just smoked him. You lose. You lose terribly. The teleport, the freezing, and the come over here. That is an overpowered combination on its own. That, I mean, that's just OP. There's a reason Scorpion and Sub-Zero are separate characters. The teleport and the lightning as well. Well, the teleport is something that Scorpion can do. Scorpion has that. The lightning isn't something that any of the ninjas have. That's like Raiden's thing. Oh, I hate the Kano cameo. He never works for you. Nah. It'd be interesting to see what his fatalities are.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see that too.
Well, if we do have, Rain uses light. I forgot all about Rain. Yeah.
I was starting to wonder if that was Rain. For lightning.
Right. I forgot that when they reintroduced Rain into the series too. He's not a ninja though. They made him a sorcerer in this one, in the new one, didn't they?
I think so.
Didn't
he doesn't have the same sort of like appearance as the rest of the
ninjas? Yeah, he's not
didn't start out as a ninja.
I forgot all about that because they make him like a sorcerer in this game.
And so did Ermac too.
Yeah. While we have this up, I'll show you that Expedition 33 trailer too. That shows a little bit more of the combat. Expedition 33. I think it's a reveal trailer.
Product not yet rated.
They also have the 95 movie costumes. That is kind of cool.
Soon she'll wake and paint again. Paint a new number, ticking down every year. One stroke, paint death again.
Yeah, no, it really does.
Break the cycle, so she can't steal anyone else's
It looks so beautiful. See, that's what I'm saying, like underwater, but not underwater.
Do you mean we're the only ones left?
Yeah, this isn't the trailer I was thinking about. But still a good one.
Even if we fail, we lay the trail for those who will come after. Right? We are Expedition 33.
Yeah, the combat system, the mix of JRPG and QuickTime. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of something that Metaphor ReFantasia was doing. Was it the release date trailer, I guess? I don't think so. No, it's not the cast reveal. It might be this first look gameplay, I think, honestly. That really shows the good stuff. But yeah, no, the combat mix definitely looks interesting. Yeah, see, like, underwater, everything. But flowers and sound and...
Elodie's expedition.
You know the commanders of every expedition.
Expedition 68. Their boat was blown into the air by a storm.
I didn't get a chance to play it myself. I saw other people play Metaphor. It looked interesting.
And they survived. Storm, at least.
Alright, let's keep moving. We found the weird corals. Niall must be close by.
Wait. Everyone. Looks like a different species.
Doesn't matter. Between us and Miami.
So yeah, punch him to get the advantage on attack. First strike.
Over there. A hut.
Slow down. We don't know what's inside yet.
Yeah, and just seeing him walk around the environment is fantastic.
This building has a certain melancholy beauty. A lone outpost of humanity nestled amongst the corals. A sailor lost at sea.
Our resident cynic is now a poet.
Wouldn't expect a Cartesian engineer to understand beauty.
You can use that.
and it's a goblet, which the Gobu Gobu or any from old Final Fantasy games. No, that game looks fantastic.
It seems peaceful. As long as we don't touch the flowers.
Yeah, let's not get too sentimental. It's still a painter's creation.
Yeah. No, 100%. I'm going to play this game, and I'm going to love every second of it. Yeah. So.
What was that?
It felt familiar somehow.
Yeah, it's a.
We won't understand what's going on.
I've always been a fan of Final Fantasy and
Kestrel Village must be ahead.
all those sorts of things. So yeah, this is right in that vein.
You know what Neverons are capable of.
She'll be fine.
I love the flintlock too.
She'll be fine.
Stab. Give me a Final Fantasy where I get a P90. We'll have some fireball. So, yeah, I am looking forward to that one.
Does look like an interesting one.
And free on Game Pass day one.
Oh yeah,
so,
they're all going to be free on the Game Pass.
Yep. I do hate the way they've subscription serviced everything, but I will admit that has been incredibly convenient. So, all right, but yeah, with that, at least for now, I might come back and stream again here in a little while, but I think for now we're gonna go ahead and call it. Game is literally about a dude having a midlife crisis.
No shit.
Fair.
Oh, I didn't think about it like that.
I might come back later on my own, but for now we're gonna go ahead and end it. Hope you guys enjoyed. I know we started super late, kind of a brief stream, but had a lot of things to show off with the game review there, or the games panel. May or may not see you later tonight. If I do, yay, awesome. Hope you're there for it. If not, hey, hope you're there for the next one. Yeah. I do have to work this weekend, so no streams this weekend. But depending on what is in store for next week, I should be doing plenty of stuff next week. We need to finish up the Pal World achievement, and then we need to finish up Marvel's Ultimate Alliance, get that done as well. So plenty more to do. Thank you to everybody who came out, all the chatters, all the lurkers. Wish, thank you so much for the resubscribe. Super appreciate it. Love you all. Hope to see you next time. Bye-bye now.
Peace.